Hey guys, my name is Nogan and welcome to my C++ series. Today we'll be focusing on C++ variables and we'll speak about C++ modifiers and how to use them with data types and optimize your code better. So as you can see right now we have this display window here for Visual Studio 2022 version that we installed in a previous video. So as you can see right now here, if you don't see this window here, what you can do is on the left hand side click on type here to search, click on it and just type in Visual Studio 2022 version, then it's gonna pop up. As you can see I have like an older version of C++ 2019 also like installed in my computer, but for this series we're going to be using the new version of 2022. And as you can see on the left hand side on open recent, these are my previous projects or programs that I've written in C++ that have been also displayed here like for the last week, month and older. But for now, on your right hand side on the screen, go to get started, click on create new project so we can start to make our first C++ program. Okay. Click on empty project, click on next. On this configure your new project now, I'm gonna name my C++ project C++ program variables and data type modifiers. Okay, now the location where your C++ programs are going to be stored, for me I'm going to store them in my C drive in this dev/YouTube C++ folder. This is where now all my programs C++ are going to be stored in my local hard drive. And another note, your solution name is the same as your project name, as you can see. So afterwards now click on create so you can make our first C++ program. Awesome. As you can see guys, now we have this Visual Studio window application being displayed here. So as you can see now on top we have next to help, you see that the name that you gave your C++ program has been displayed as C++ variables and data type modifiers, as you can see mine. Now on your right hand side, because I'm going to set up now C++ properly so we can have a proper setting when we write our C++ programs. On your solution explorer on your right hand side, these documents here or folders here are not folders. These ones from external to until source, they're not folders. These are just filters, which means they contain no source code or any filing system that you can use in C++. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to click on my C++ solution name, click on show all files, right click on your C++ name that you gave, go to add, go to new folder. My folder I'm gonna name it source, but I'm gonna give it a abbreviation of SRC just for short. Go to your source file again and right click on it, go to add new item. Okay, click on the C++ folder here, the .cpp file. I'm gonna name mine main.cpp. Awesome. Okay, as you can see right now we have this main.cpp file being displayed here. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna just set everything up first so you can see like how a normal C++ program is normally looks like. So I'm gonna just include a few basic functionalities. Awesome. Okay, so guys, as you can see, this is like how a normal C++ program format looks like. You'll see like the standard format everywhere in each C++ program. As you can see right now here, we have this hash include IStream. Now the IStream, I'm going to go in depth in the next video about basic C++ input and output operations in C++. But for now, for today, we're focusing on C++ variables and data type modifiers. Now, this user namespace std is a mechanism that we use now in C++ to access the standard mechanisms of this std keyword, as you can see here. But for now, this int main function is a special function. Now this int main function is where we're going to be writing our instructions and where we can declare variables, call functions in this main function. And the main function is a special function, and each main function or each function in C++ has to return a return value. But we'll speak about the different types of functions in a later video where we discuss the different types of functions and also how they can be used in C++. But for now, as I mentioned before, we're focusing on C++ variables and modifiers in C++. Now, in the main function, I'm going to declare now 5 variables. Now, what is a variable? A variable is a memory location in C++ whose content can change during program execution, which means you can declare a variable by giving it any name. Now, a variable is also called an identifier in C++. For example, I'm going to say now character is a data type in C++, and the name of it now is variable now sex. I'll give it sex. Now this variable now character sex, we declared it now in the main function. I'm going to declare, like I mentioned, 5 of them, which means the first is character, the second will be an int age, second will be float number, double, money, bool, human. We have 5 variables declared in the main function. The first one is type character, integer, float, double, and boolean. Now in C++, these characters or these data types that are used, which is character, integer, float, double, and boolean, these are keywords, which means they are the ones that are going to allocate memory for your variables. As examples you can see now here. For character now we gave it the name sex as a variable name, and these variables, these ones here, haven't been initialized. Only declared these variables in the main function. Awesome. So let's say, for example, we want to see how much memory is allocated for all these variables that have been declared in the main function for sex, age, number, money, and also human. As I mentioned before, these variables are only declared. These are only declared in C++. They haven't been initialized. When you're initializing variables now, you have to use this equal sign, which is like the assignment operator. Now, character, because it contains a character, we're gonna now store a character in sex, a variable sex. But now you can, when you're storing it now, you have to use single quotation marks, as you can see here. I'm gonna leave my initialization blank. You can give it like any letter. It could be an upper caps or lower caps, doesn't matter. As long as the variable has been initialized in C++, the compiler won't give you a compile error. Let's say, for example, we haven't initialized our variables. Let's try and see out the amount of memory has been allocated for each individual variable, as we see here. I'm going to use the cout statement, and also I'm going to display a message just to notify the user that how much memory has been allocated for each individual data type from character until boolean. So I'm going to say now character char, so memory I'm going to use the size of operator. It's a function we can use to see how much memory is allocated for each individual data type in C++. Awesome. As you can see, I'm using this cout, and also this message say char memory allocation is the size of operator. Now here will display a number, an integer number, which is in bytes eventually, of each individual data type as we have declared them in the main function. And as you can see in the size operator, in this brackets I have to change the individual data type, so we can see like for each data type how much memory is allocated for each individual initialization in C++. But for now I'm gonna copy and paste the statement 4 more times. I'm going to change this into int, and also here change this into an int, into a float. Awesome. Okay, right now, so which means we have this 5 lines of CL statement that can display the number of bytes stored in each individual data type for character, integer, float, double, and also boolean. Awesome. So we need to compile a C++ program. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to click on Ctrl-Shift-B to compile my C++ program. Now the compiler compiles your C++ program to see now is there any syntax error in the source code. So if you click on Ctrl-Shift-B to compile it now, the compiler will check our C++ program, each line of code in a sequence of instructions to see is there any line of code that's not abiding by the rules of the language eventually of C++. As you can see now, he has been built. In a moment you'll see there will be some warnings displayed by the compiler. Awesome. As you can see now here, guys, in the statement here we have a few warnings here for each of our variables that have been declared in the main function. As you can see, the warnings now, the warning here is for sex, human, number, age, and money. Remember, I spoke about that we need to initialize our variables when you declare them in C++. Now this warning means that now this sex variable is unreferenced local variable. Unreferenced, which means it hasn't been initialized. The compiler doesn't know that now this variable has like garbage memory or garbage allocation, if you can say it, because the compiler can also allocate like garbage information data in each individual variable. Awesome. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to initialize all these variables using this equal sign, which is the assignment operator, and initialize sex with single quotation marks, which is like empty. For age, because now it's an integer, I'm initialized to 0. It can be 10, it can be 1000, 121, any number, as long as if it's an integer variable. This has been like initialized to age, it will be stored in the memory allocation of age. For float, I'm gonna initialize to 0.0, and also for double 0.0. Now let me show you something familiar here that I spoke about these two variables that have been the same. If you stand on float, click on float, stand on float, you can see it shows you a double in brackets, also 0.0. If you stand on double, also same thing. The compiler now will eventually try to, because you have to tell the compiler now float is a float number, it's not a double number, because both of them contain decimal numbers. Now in float you have to include an F to signify that now there's a difference between double and float. If you click on float again, now you'll see there's a float variable and initializing like a float decimal number, which is like 0.0f. If you click on double, it will show you double 0.0. There's a difference between float and double. You have to initialize when you're initializing like a number or decimal number to float, you have to include this f to signify it's a floating point number. For human contains two types of conditions, or you can say initialization: true or false. Now true is 1 and false is 0, but we have to use the keyword true to initialize our Boolean variable. Wonderful. So let's click on Shift Control to compile our C++ program again to see is there any errors again or any warnings in our program. Awesome. As you can see here, both succeeded 100%. Now let's go to local to Windows debugger and click on so we can build and run our program and see the output of our variables. Awesome. As you can see on the output window, character's memory allocation is 1 byte of memory, integer is 4 bytes of memory, float is 4 bytes of memory, and double is also 8 bytes of memory. Boolean is 1 byte of memory. So as you can see now here, the size of operator that we use in our C++ program, this function here, gives us now more information about how much memory allocation is being stored for each individual variable being declared in the main function. As you can see, the ones that we declared here. Now guys, let's speak about data modifier in C++. Now data modifier in C++, we have 4 of them. We have unsigned, we have signed, short, and also we have long. As I mentioned, data modifiers can be used as a combination with our data types that has been declared eventually on top here, as a combination. So for example, let's say we want to see can we modify the memory allocation of double. Let's use the short keyword. Let's say short. If using short with double, it's going to give you a invalid combination of types. And the reason is because that now some combinations of these data type modifiers are specified as specific. Because if you use short modifiers the minimum value that data type can hold. It is used for small integers that lie in a range, which means in a certain range. Because remember, double contains 8 bytes of memory. If you're using short now, short will minimize the memory allocation of the variable of money, because it contains 8 bytes of memory. It's now shortened to 4 bytes of memory, and that will give you a compilation error, as you can see here. But if you're using signed or unsigned with double, it won't give you, it's going to give you also a invalid combination, because some of the combinations with double are specified, some are not specified. The ones that are legal to use are signed and unsigned with character. You can use signed and unsigned with integer, you can use here, and also signed short or unsigned short, or signed long and unsigned long. Those one can be used as a combination. Some will give you a compilation error, as I mentioned. Let's say for example want to use short with integer, and want to see like well the short keyword or modifier modify the memory allocation of integer. Say short. Let's say for example we're going to include short there and see will the memory allocation of short change. Let's run our C++ program. Awesome. As you can see for integer, the memory allocation has been changed from 4 bytes to 2 bytes of memory, because now the combination of those modifiers are allowed. Some of them are not allowed in C++. So when you're using them, you can use them in a combination. You can use unsigned, short, you can use signed, short, you can use signed long, and you can use long. But remember, you have to also now give them a variable name. You can say, for example, main place country, and also location. So whenever you are using these as combinations, they can modify your C++ program into a much more stable program, which means they are very specific. And when using them now, you have to use them in terms of like a reason. For example, if you want to modify like how much memory you have to allocate for each individual variable. Now these modifiers are very helpful because sometimes if you want to use only 2 bytes of memory with short, you can use these modifiers to minimize using too much memory allocation in your program. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, click on the bell notification, and see the repost on my channel.